Greetings, esteemed viewers, and welcome to an intellectual odyssey that transcends the boundaries of conventional discourse. This is Right versus Right, and today we embark on a profound exploration of the ethical landscape surrounding the enigmatic concept of designer babies. We will begin our discussion by viewing the topic through the lens of utilitarianism. The fundamental principle of utilitarianism revolves around the greatest good for the greatest number. In the case of designer babies, a utilitarian would assess both the potential benefits and harms associated with the technology. Perhaps the most significant advantage is the eradication of genetic diseases. Conditions such as Huntington's disease, Tay-Sachs, or cystic fibrosis could become things of the past. This not only increases the happiness of the individuals who would have been affected, but also reduces the societal burden associated with these diseases in terms of medical costs and caregiving requirements. If it becomes possible to enhance cognitive abilities, memory, or other intellectual traits, this could lead to rapid advancements in various fields. We might see bursts of innovation in science, arts, and other domains, but our understanding of the genome, while advanced, is not complete. Making changes might have unintended consequences. A modification that seems beneficial might have secondary effects that are harmful or disadvantageous. As genetic modifications become normalized, there could be societal pressure to conform. Parents might feel compelled to make certain choices to ensure their child isn't left behind. This could lead to a society where genetic modifications are not a choice, but a necessity. From a utilitarian standpoint, the challenge lies in quantifying these benefits and harms. How does one compare the joy from eradicating a genetic disease against the potential harm of unforeseen genetic issues or societal pressures? Kantian ethics, rooted in the philosophy of Immanuel Kant, gives paramount importance to individual rights and autonomy. One of the central tenets is that individuals should never be used merely as a means to an end, but should be treated as ends in themselves. One issue is infringement of autonomy. To decide the genetic fate of a child before they are born is to make choices for them that they cannot undo. Even if these choices are made with the best intentions, they may still be viewed as an infringement on autonomy. A child may grow up wondering if their achievements are genuinely theirs or a result of their design. Another issue is parental rights versus child's rights. Parents make numerous decisions for their children, from the schools they attend to their diets. However, genetic modifications could be seen as going a step too far. Where do we draw the line between a parent's right to decide for their child and the child's right to autonomy? There could also be potential discrimination against those who are unmodified. If a majority opts for modifications, those who, for personal, religious, or financial reasons, choose not to modify might find themselves marginalized or discriminated against. This perspective highlights the moral quagmire designer babies present. The balance between parental rights, societal norms, and an individual's right to autonomy is challenging to navigate. Virtue ethics, which originates primarily from the teachings of Aristotle, focuses on the development of one's moral character over the adherence to specific rules or the results of an action. This perspective assesses the virtues or vices cultivated by engaging in or endorsing certain practices. If we turn to the designing of babies as a practice, what virtues might it cultivate in parents and society? Wisdom is one such virtue. Having the ability to select genetic traits implies a deep understanding of these traits and their consequences. Choosing certain genes wisely and ethically might reflect the virtue of practical wisdom, or phronesis, in Aristotle's terms. On the contrary, the practice might cultivate vice if used superficially. If society begins to prioritize physical attributes like height, beauty, or other aesthetically pleasing traits, we might end up nurturing vanity and superficiality. Over generations, these could become dominant traits in society, overshadowing virtues like kindness, empathy, and courage. The very power to influence a life before it starts necessitates a profound level of responsibility. Whether society can handle this responsibly, ensuring that every child, whether designed or not, is valued and treated with dignity, is a question to ponder. Natural law theory posits that there is a natural order to life, which should not be violated. Most prominently, Thomas Aquinas argues that everything has a purpose according to nature, If humans are seen as having a natural essence or way of being, then designing babies could be seen as diverting from this natural course. Genetic engineering might be equated to denying the natural order and the purpose intended by nature or by a divine being. However, a counter-argument could be that it is in human nature to innovate and improve. From this angle, using science to improve human lives, even at the genetic level, might be seen as a natural progression of humanity's innate curiosity and problem-solving nature. Next, I'll discuss the socio-economic perspective. The capability to design babies will likely be expensive, at least initially, and not available to everyone. This disparity in access can lead to multiple social justice concerns. If only a section of society can afford these genetic modifications, we might witness the emergence of a genetically enhanced elite. This could exacerbate existing socioeconomic divides, leading to further disparities in opportunities, education, and societal influence. Over time, certain traits might become so commonplace that not having them might be seen as a disadvantage. This could lead to discrimination against those who haven't undergone genetic modifications, leading to an even more divided society. Relational ethics emphasizes the ethical aspects of relationships, particularly the bonds of trust, respect, and empathy. To begin, let's discuss parent-child relationship dynamics. Designing a baby might alter the very nature of the parent-child bond. A child who knows they were designed might feel pressured to live up to certain expectations, given that their traits were chosen. This might strain the relationship, with children feeling commodified or created for a purpose. Or what about interpersonal relationships? If designer babies become the norm, individuals might start valuing relationships based on genetic worth. This could undermine genuine human connections, leading to relationships based on genetic superiority rather than mutual respect and affection. All of this said, we can't forget environmental and evolutionary concerns. From an ecological standpoint, designer babies represent an intentional intervention in the natural course of human evolution. The implications of this are vast and multidimensional. Natural evolution operates on the principle of natural selection, where beneficial traits increase an individual's likelihood of survival and reproduction. By intervening genetically, we might stall or redirect this process. While on the surface, designer babies might seem like an acceleration of evolution, we could inadvertently stagnate genuine evolutionary progress, missing out on unforeseen beneficial mutations. One of the potential hazards is the reduction in human genetic diversity. If certain traits become popular and are consistently selected for, the human gene pool might become increasingly homogenized. This lack of diversity could make humans more susceptible to diseases that might affect that particular genetic makeup. Our evolutionary journey has been one of adapting to changing environments. If we begin to design babies without the foresight of future environmental changes, we might inadvertently make future generations less adaptable to unforeseen environmental shifts. And then we have cultural and contextual considerations. Every culture has its ethos, a shared set of beliefs and values that dictate its worldview. The concept of designer babies might be received differently across cultures, and this variation can have profound implications. In societies that place a high value on certain physical attributes or abilities, there might be a trend to design babies that fit those ideals. Over time, this could lead to a homogenization of cultural traits, undermining the rich diversity that different cultures bring to the global tapestry. Many religions believe in the sanctity of life and the divine orchestration of birth. Genetic intervention might be seen as humans overstepping their boundaries, playing a role reserved for the divine. The conflict between scientific progress and religious belief could lead to societal tensions. From a philosophical standpoint, the cultural response to designer babies brings up the debate on ethical relativism. Is there a universal ethical stance on designer babies, or is the morality of the act relative to individual cultures and contexts? Finally, we have the slippery slope argument. Beyond the direct implications of designer babies lies the concern of the slippery slope. If we allow for certain genetic modifications, where do we draw the line? While many might support genetic interventions to prevent diseases, what about enhancements? If improving memory or physical strength becomes possible, should it be allowed? And if so, to what extent? Every step on this slope might have unintended consequences. a seemingly beneficial genetic modification might have unknown side effects, not just for the individual, but potentially for future generations. The slippery slope also brings into question the role of regulatory bodies. How can we ensure that genetic modifications are done ethically? What global standards should be in place to prevent potential misuses? In conclusion, the idea of designer babies pushes the boundaries of our ethical, philosophical, and societal frameworks. With the promise of eradicating diseases and enhancing human abilities, it offers a tantalizing glimpse into a new era of human evolution. However, the profound implications cannot be understated. Every philosophical lens offers a unique viewpoint, from the utilitarian's weighing of collective happiness to the Kantian's emphasis on autonomy. The relational ethicist worries about the bonds between parents and children, while the cultural observer remains keenly aware of the global diversity of beliefs. In navigating this complex terrain, it is essential to foster a global dialogue, integrating diverse philosophical perspectives and cultural beliefs. Only with a holistic, inclusive approach can we hope to harness the benefits of this technology while safeguarding the inherent dignity and rights of every human being. As we stand on the cusp of this new frontier, we are reminded of the weight of our choices and the shared responsibility of charting a course that honors both our scientific prowess and our shared humanity.